Yeah, what's going on? Welcome to another episode of Handsome Beatdown. We back, baby.
Like cook crack, baby.
Beatdown Brown and my esteemed colleague, Handsome Mandela. How you feeling, brother?
Refresh, renewed, and restored, my brother. How about yourself?
Man, I'm on point. I'm on point. Tribe Called Quest is in the hall, man. So I'm on point, Tip.
Bruh, all the time, Fife. Rest in peace. Listen, I legit voted every day from 5 different emails, brother.
I ain't mad at that
Different
at all.
accounts. 5 of them shits.
I ain't
Twice
mad at
time.
you at all, man.
Because I did it the first time when they didn't get the nod. So I had to go extra hard this time. Yeah, buddy, I did.
Hey, I ain't mad at you at all, man. Chappelle had a bomb ass intro to him. They had some nice ass performances. That shit was on point, man. I was happy to see it, bro.
No doubt, as was I. For sure. For damn sure they deserve that shit, man.
Yeah, yeah. Now, I would love to go into that, but that's not what we here for. We got some housekeeping to do. We gotta go backwards to go forward. It's been a minute since we got together, schedules and all like that.
Indeed.
But right now, what we here to talk to y'all about, we going into that Kendrick and this victory lap that this man has been taking, which has been ridiculous. He got the quietest victory lap, man. It's so laid back and humble how quiet this victory lap has been, man.
The funny part is though, everybody else sees it, so that's all that matters. I mean, you can do that shit quietly. Shit. What does this song on? Damn, stay humble.
Hmm. I mean, it's wild. We're going and we're talking about, all right, you got the fact that some people are up in their feelings about Wayne not doing the Super Bowl in New Orleans, and we've discussed this numerous times. Dre and them doing the Super Bowl in LA was an anomaly. Because honestly,
That's exactly what it was.
that was
Exactly.
that was an anomaly. Because if Jay-Z was not in charge at the time, that would have not been the case.
Oh, no doubt. I mean, and you got to think too. That you figure it was at a brand new stadium in LA. You know what I'm saying? So why not have the the Kings of the West Coast handle that? On
Yeah,
top of that, what made it even more solidified was you had the team who the stadium was built for in that shit.
yeah. I mean, it
So
was a crazy situation overall. You don't see people getting mad about Wayne not performing in New Orleans. First off, don't understand the rarity of that's like your favorite team, the Super Bowl being where your team is from, and you mad that they're not playing there. You got to work to win to get there. And if y'all wasn't paying attention to what happened at Essence Fest,
that part specifically.
that one, it was a horrible show. Two, it's been brought up by several people before. What does Wayne have as far as his leadoff songs that are not just talking about how much of a wild card is he that he could be with possibly cursing on stage because he don't remember lyrics or whatever like that. How many songs does he have that aren't sexually explicit? Even if
Uh, there's that too.
and as much as we'll be like, all right, it's violence, it's wildness, people got, possible gun bars or whatever and they stuff, whatever, possible drug references and their stuff. This is still technically family entertainment. And don't nobody want to hear how you going to hit that, eat that, smack that up, or trick it on the streets. So, dog, not going to happen. And that just is what it is. And plus, like, last couple times this cat popped out, man. I think Orlando Brown had it the best when he said, "You really think you're gonna see?" for the Super Bowl, man. And I ain't hating no Wayne. Wayne can rhyme his tail off.
Indeed.
But Wayne, as far as the stage show goes, nah.
See, it's not just that. You know what I'm saying? Like to your point, everything you said was correct because what is he gonna? I mean, the only thing I could see him performing solo is a Millie
And he doesn't
right
remember the
now.
lyrics to it. He said, I don't remember the lyrics to it. He tried to perform that for, was that NBA All-Star Weekend or something, and totally jacked that up.
And so the thing is, they said at that Essence Fest, all he performed was what Young Money shit. And speaking of, that would probably be who he would bring as featured guests, I would think. And I'm sorry, no disrespect to them, but that would be collateral damage right now.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not just talking about what that whole Drake stuff, because I think that's honestly water under the bridge. Ain't nobody thinking about that no more. But as far as how they would act, I mean, you seen how one of the Young Money members reacted to that whole shit on Twitter.
Yeah.
So it's like, dude, I don't see that even. That's not even a good look for one.
And once again, going back into her, how much of your stuff is not sexually explicit? It's the only one who has out of that collective that has a complete show that you could say, oh, they could do their show and it'll work for a Super Bowl is Drake. That's the
And
only one whose catalog works for that.
but at the same time, you gotta think he would probably have to do stuff from his solo projects. Them
Oh
joint
yeah,
ventures he got.
no, them joint
Well,
ventures is
first off,
have
them joint ventures ain't gonna work any daggone way because half of them was with Future. So that's a wrap.
yeah, and Future ain't
That's a
messing with them.
wrap.
Yeah,
That's a wrap. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you're right.
half of the heaters is with Future. Half of the feature, it doesn't work. It doesn't work at all.
Mm-mm.
And I saw before everybody got up in their feelings, the fact of the matter is I saw the possibility of Kendrick bringing out Wayne because he is the biggest Wayne stan. This is the cat who got on live stream at what 3 a.m. Drunk as all get out up there rhyming Wayne lyrics talking about Wayne don't retire. We know he's a Wayne stan. So it could have happened. It still could have rang off. No different than how Maroon 5 brought out Big Boy and brought out Luda.
Yeah, and the thing about it is that is the whole other thing about the whole, oh, well, why couldn't Wayne do this? Because in Atlanta, all that talent, and they had to be brought on as special guests
Yeah,
of the performers. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah,
I mean, the Super Bowl is it's capitalist, bro. They're not gonna go with the homegrown artists unless the homegrown artist is popping like that.
yeah. And that's what has to be understood. Now, going further into this, what was it? The 20 what was it? The 2019 or is it the 2017 VMAs when Homeboy had the when Kendrick came out with the flaming ninjas and the fire effects doing humble and all that stuff. That's a show.
Yeah,
You
exactly.
you have to look at who puts on a show. If they would have said neither one of them has said, "All right, you know what? Missy's coming off a crazy tour. We're gonna have Missy, Busta, and Sierra do it." I wouldn't argue with that because that's going to be a
There's
show.
nothing to argue. That's something to get hype over. Like, oh well, shit. If I didn't get a chance to see him on tour, I can at least see a piece of that shit on the Super Bowl.
It's about who's going to put on a show, and once again, biggest damn song of the year
That part.
is taking over everything. It's
That
used for
part.
the intros and outros. It goes without saying that Forget your feelings. Don't worry about how you felt about it. Don't worry about how you feel about whatever is going on with Kendrick or whatever like that. Understand the moment, understand the impact of the song, and just ride with it. Because that's all you can do is just ride with it. It's literally that big. Now, if it wasn't for the fact that the only other person I could have seen in consideration, but once again comes down to everything is sexually explicit, is Megan. As far as having a big
Yeah,
show,
but I don't think that. Granted, I love Megan, but I don't know if she ready to do the Super Bowl like right now. You know what I'm saying? Like by herself, I don't see that. I could definitely see her doing something on there. You know what I'm saying?
I'm looking at the fact of how big that album rang off, which is still crazy that
Oh yeah,
she didn't win the BET award. Because I could have seen her bringing Homeboy back over, doing that cut. Um, am I correct that she has a joint with Beyonce or no?
Savage remix.
There you have it.
Mm-hmm.
So, because I think that's also the other key too is Kendrick's gonna bring Beyonce out, but Megan could have brought Beyonce out, and then
Oh, definitely.
Beyonce would have hopped into an, you know what I'm saying, another little thing over there, whatever, and
Right,
it'd be one thing.
right.
'Cause I still have my shady point on being that this is gonna be in February. One out of two songs is gonna be done based off Kendrick, depending on what happens with the election. I'm calling it, and I'm gonna call it again on purpose. If
Oh, for sure.
if Kamala wins, they're doing freedom. If Trump wins, they're doing America has a problem. I'm telling you, off top.
Oh, and rightfully so.
And I'm just looking at the tea leaves on that one.
Dude, you have to look at the king and queen, not just of what they doing at the moment, but they're the king and queen of subliminal trolling.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? They will subliminal troll that shit, and people might not get what they did until a month after.
Yep. It's wild, man. But talking about a silent assassin, I know everybody doesn't agree with the Harper's Bazaar interview, but the fact that my man only pop out for what he want to pop out for. No pun intended with the show. But you go into something that people don't normally get into. This is also, I don't know if people weigh in or understand the fact of establishing cool being the fact that it was like, oh, he's just this, rapidy rap savior cat. He ain't cool, he ain't fashionable, he ain't this. He's up this like, don't you see what I wear? Don't you see how my swag is? And let's just get me on Harper's Bazaar real quick. Let's do that. Let's get it. Let's get it on. It's like just flip. The victory lap is crazy, dog.
And
Is
again, don't believe me, just watch.
he's he's running away with it, and it's nuts, man. This is his year. This is a year unlike anything else. The one thing that I have seen in all of this, and I'm gonna pass it to you to see if you've seen it. Yeah, you still got some of the garbage, some of the riffraff, running around dropping or whatever. But I do believe I've seen an increased amount of heat coming out, more quality and well thought material coming out and actually being looked for in comparison since this whole battle went down. How has your outlook been on that?
Most definitely. I mean, it's like you said, it's people are putting thought into what they're putting out. You know what I'm saying? It's giving the vibes of the the 90s. I'm not even gonna say the golden era because anybody can say what their specific golden era was, but it's
Right.
giving the vibe, it's giving the vibes of okay, well, you gotta have something dope before you put it out. We're not just gonna put out something based on a vibe or a feeling. This shit has to really be about something. There has to be some substance to this. You know what I'm saying? I have to be able to dig into this and not just pull out dirt. I gotta be able to dig into this dirt and pull out a daggone root or a vegetable. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? On
yeah,
some real shit.
yeah. I've been appreciating, man. There's been a lot of people. The one thing about it is with him going so West Coast with the pop out and everything else, and we don't know what the sonics of the album is going to be, but with looking at everything, I've noticed I always in the first one the fuss and moan about homogeny in music. Everybody from everywhere sounds like everybody. And I've heard more times this year, whether it's a Denzel Curry going back into some Florida action. You know what I'm saying? With yeah, Denzel loves tearing it up on boom bap, but he went to the swamps for that one. Speaking of the swamps, Queen of the Swamps, Doechii coming out on some wild stuff, and
Yeah,
she's been fire.
yeah, yeah.
And boy, it's
Mm-hmm.
it's been quality all around. And we were talking about it off camera, but I see it was smartly done in order to not mess with the vibes going into Grammy season. But even looking at Tyler's rollout for this new Chromacopia coming out, and the fact that my man had a whole rollout in the tuck, and everything I've heard from it thus far, which is only 3 joints that I heard. The little teaser AMSR was it AMSR joint with the whisper flow with establishing a new character, then that Noid, both halves of that Noid, and then I heard another cut. I don't remember the name of it right now, but he dropped another cut. It's like this cat's cupping for heads with this, but I do like that he tucked back and was up there after showing up at the pop out and doing his thing, and
That part.
kind of like playing back. It's like, okay, Grammy cutoff is August 30th. All right, I'll just come out in October then. Like I worry
Yeah.
about next year. I keep my hands to myself and worry about next year and let my do because that's the only in full honesty, it's the only person that can kind of fuck with Kendrick's run. And it's just fan base, performance, the amount of the weight of the catalog and the quality of the catalog. And like I said, his genius for marketing and for rollouts. Because his rollout, for somebody that said they wasn't going to drop an album this year, this rollout and the fact that a world tour is already plotted out, yeah,
Word.
you was working.
Mm-hmm.
Tyler was working, man. So shout out to everything cracking with good quality music, stuff like Blue Lips and
Yeah,
all like that.
definitely.
Just giving
Definitely.
us JPEG Mafia dropping fire. Hell, that Danny Brown project that came out that he just dropped the extended version of. Cass is just dropping heat, man, and I'm happy to see it. I'm here for it, man.
Yeah, because that steel sharpen steel and make you get your pen game up right. It make you sharpen your tools up.
Yeah, man.
Definitely. Definitely. I think that's what it should be
Hmm.
anyway. You know what I'm saying? That's definitely what it should be. Just put out that, just keep that heat coming, man. Just keep it coming. But yo, hold up. There's something else I gotta speak on as far as, and this ain't nothing to do with the Super Bowl, but as far as Kendrick's humble victory lap,
Okay.
how it's got people on some other shit. Why your man J. Cole come back with a subliminal shot?
This cat is funny because shout out to Deleted, man. I think Deleted covered it the best with the fact of J. Cole is like that snaky ass friend that your parents told you to watch out for, that like sit back and act like they your homie, but they hate you more than your actual enemy hates you because you up there shining.
Bishop.
Dog, really, like for real, you bowed out of the battle. First of all, the battle had nothing to do with you. You were
Right.
told it had nothing to do with you, or did it? Because were you sending shots too? Well, one, we know he's always sending subliminals.
Right.
And it's like, okay, how many shots were you sending? So was that first person shooter and all the stuff that you were participating in, and everything that you were saying and doing, was that you trying to throw your hat in the fray, and then you bowed out because Cat's like, yo, it's going to be nasty, possibly erase you off the map level stuff. But it came up, Wayno, you saw the Wayno interview, right? When Wayno was
Yeah.
talking about Dreamville cats is like literally sitting up there hating on TDE at the festival, up there talking about Kendrick is irrelevant and all this other stuff. It's like, but y'all acted like it's peace, hanging around top, hanging around punch, hanging around hanging around I just said the album name. Because he performed in Dreamville. Not Ab, but
You talking about Schoolboy Q?
yeah, hanging around Schoolboy and acting like everything is all cool and everything else. You grabbing Ab Soul for your project. You grabbing Daylight, who's TDE adjacent, for your project. But these cats throwing a battery in your back. And what's funny is it was so bad that everybody was trying to say, yeah, Jid been throwing shots, and Jid had to come out and be like, yo, man. And this is what shows me that there's a problem in Dreamville. Jid coming out like, man, I don't even hang around Dreamville niggas like that. Yo,
Mm.
basically, your next up man is up there saying, I don't hang with y'all. And that's up there's like, well,
Mm.
he just did joints with Earth Gang. He's around Earth Gang. I didn't realize that Earth Gang left Dreamville.
Mm.
Your label looking real bad. And the fact of, let's be honest, with the run that Jid has been on, both on features, because I'll be the first one to say this all the time. Everybody talk about Cole's feature run, and I say the two most impressive feature runs in this last like 2 years right now, and that's going up until now, it's still going, is Meth and Jid.
Yeah.
Method Man and Jid have had the best feature runs for the last 2 years. They have
Mm-hmm.
both been absolutely disturbing in the fact of how just chef's kiss these motherfuckers have been for these last
Word.
2 years. And it's actually longer than that for Jid, but I'm just going there. Because I mean, let's let's go there. Jid got on a Conway joint, Run DMC and back and forth on it. And I'm not gonna say he laced Conway, but he made it look the way it's supposed to look. You know what I mean? You got on a joint with Meth and was up there holding your own. You had a highly viral cut, and there was no movement on promoting the album better than that when that album came out. It's I just don't know what happens down there. That Dreamville don't push their artists, man.
Was
And
they don't want their artist to be bigger than the main person.
that's a problem. That's a
That's
pro-
repetitive. Who do that sound like?
yeah, that sound like OVO.
Not even just OVO, but up high, up I-95 a little more.
See, I would agree, but they push Cat's albums. Jay push Cat's
Bruh,
albums, man.
I'm not saying he don't, but I
It's
legit think that Bean should be a whole lot more successful in what he was
yeah.
with
I don't
sales.
at that for what they wanted at that time. See, Beans and Beans aesthetic right now, Beans would be a superstar. Being that grimy, Beans would eat during the drill era.
Oh, easy, easy.
Beans would eat during the drill era without being drill. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? With just spitting the
yeah,
way he spit, rhyming on what he rhyme on. Beans would eat during the drill era.
indeed.
I don't think that during that time they wanted that smoother aesthetic. So that's why you had your J's, your Fabulouses, and all
No,
that
you
other
right,
stuff.
because I mean that was the Cristal popping era.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
he was, let's be honest, his whole aesthetic was he was a shooter. You know what I'm saying? That
I
was
don't
that
know
was
if I don't know if that was an aesthetic, allegedly.
you get what I mean. The
Yeah, for sure.
he would be a virtual icon now for having that aesthetic and that that come off now would be
Him
what
and
everybody.
Mob Deep.
Oh yeah, this is that era where it's just like, oh yeah, that's what's popping off. Come on,
Hmm.
man. They would, you talk about cast that would have fit perfectly in the Griselda pocket,
Yeah,
running around with a camp like that.
yeah,
Oh
indeed,
man, it would have been ignorant.
indeed.
It would have been ignorant. Them cats would have ate that up. That'd have been them in West Side all day. You just heard, hey yo,
Hmm.
and then just heard a
Right,
beans flow ring off. You
right.
think you telling me you wouldn't have heard Gibbs and Beans with a full Alchemist project?
Bruh, I want to hear what could still be Freddy versus Jason versus Michael Myers. Cause that's what they was talking about calling that shit. Fab, Kiss, and Beans.
Ooh,
They was talking about that shit like right after that Freddy versus Jason dropped. So
dog,
imagine that shit. With a few spots sprinkled with Styles P.
dog. This is as we seen after the verses, because Kiss has had a good run on and stuff too. This is that era where these cats can ring off. I
Oh,
don't know what it.
indeed.
I don't know what Bean's situation is now, but somebody need to throw that man back in the lab.
Hey, but I can't recall. I think it was might have been on Drink Champs. Shout out to them. I think they just said that Kiss is about to start doing shows. He got a tour lined up where he doing that Nas shit, performing his album with an orchestra.
Mm-hmm.
That shit gonna be stupid.
Dog, there's so much stuff, and it's funny because the way the music is running right now, there's your couple of bright spots of incoming artists now, like I said, like Dochi and some others right now. But it's in a weird era where like a lot of this chaff is getting cut off because you got a lot of what was supposed to be up next is not ringing off anymore, and they're getting rid
Mhm.
of it. And I was talking with my godson about it because it's like, yo, who's the rappers in my era? And it's like you got a weird era because you don't have them right now. You're existing on the last run is who's still running y'all stuff right now because who y'all
Right.
had coming up is falling off or getting killed. Let's be
That
honest,
was that part.
or
That
getting
part
locked up
exactly.
too. Because it's just like the only one y'all got, the only one they got that's kind of ringing off right now that's doing something a little bit is Corday. Like besides that, everybody else is either getting locked up, falling off, or dying.
Yeah.
It's like they're gonna have to wait for the next wave to come. It's just really, really weird. And it's really, if you look at it, it's really a older a older head game going right now, because you got all the Griselda and Griselda associated movement, and all of them are over 40.
Right.
You got like I said, the Kendrick Drakes and Cole still running top form right now and doing stuff, and they're mid to late 30s.
Right.
You don't really have no 20 somethings that's really doing it right now.
Mm-mm.
And you definitely don't have any teenagers that's really doing it right now.
Nah.
It's a wild game right now. I think it's going to take another couple of years. Like I said, you got Tyler up there doing it on a major level, and Tyler's got to be late 30s, you know, running towards that 40. I don't think he's early 30s. I think he's mid to late right now. Yeah, it's a crazy era right now. So, yeah, man. Older heads is holding it down right now, man.
I mean, hey, sometimes it gotta be that way.
I said that was crazy because I was looking at it with my homie. I said it's weird because this is kind of like early 80s coming out of 70s R&B that extended all the way into the 90s when you had your Luthers, your Whitneys, and everybody like that. In
Mhm.
all honesty, they were 80s stars, but they ran all the way until the early 2000s and
Right.
kind of rocked it. And
Right.
I think that's kind of going to lean into what we got upcoming. We got anything else that you want to dust over with Kendrick right now before we hop out of this one?
I just think that it was funny how Cole just came back all of a sudden after the smoke cleared, the bodies was buried, and the dust was settled. But nah, that's about it.
Yeah, he's moving real funny right now, man. And I think it's because he's been so discredited by his own actions. All he had to do is sit back and let it play out and then just drop music.
That
And
part.
nobody would have had anything to say about him whatsoever. It had been
Exactly.
it would have been he all he had to do is avoid the initial issue, and then even coming back with this, he felt irrelevant is what happened in this. And that's where the
Hmm.
problem came up.
Right. Exactly.
And it's hilarious. And that's not the way to start your rollout for the fall off, but that is a good way to start the fall off.
Yeah. Yeah. Indeed. Pun
Hey,
intended.
pun fully intended, man. Hey, well, definitely appreciate all the new subscribers. I see we had that nice little surge going on that we plan to keep continuing. I thank you,
Yeah,
my brother, for
buddy.
hitting me up and getting back in the lab with me
No
so we can get
doubt.
this
No
going.
doubt.
Once again, this has been the Handsome Beatdown. We appreciate y'all for coming to check us out. Make sure you check us all out in the Schwable Room. We got more new left legged Goldtron coming up and
Yeah.
new merch coming up too. My man
Word.
got new merch
Word.
coming up, so that's going to be on fire. But definitely
Word.
appreciate y'all, and we gonna get up out of here, and we will see y'all again soon.
Word.
Peace.